What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. And if you're looking to stay current on the top cyber news stories of the day while engaging with what could only be described as a bunch of legends, the Simply Cyber community, well, then you're in the right place. So get your coffee, get comfortable, because we got a great show for you. Let's cook. Yes, everybody. Over the next hour, we're going to rip through the top 8 cyber stories of the day. We'll give you the headline and kind of the surface level news story, just like every other pedestrian cyber news medium, content, outlet, whatever you want to call it. But what we do here, we double down, we double click, we plus, whatever you want to say. We go beyond the headlines. I take my 20 plus years of experience. I reach down past the elbow into the belly of the story, and I pull out what is insightful, useful, valuable, something that you can use to level yourself up as a professional, something you can use to reduce risk for your organization, something that is just not what you were expecting when you tuned in today. Whether you're on replay or live, there is going to be value for you here. And if you're listening on your audio podcast app of choice, which is totally a viable option, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, among other popular options, I will visually describe using the full breadth of my vernacular in order to descriptively build the image in your mind of the infographic that we are all collectively looking at. Now, if you're here for the first time, what's up? Welcome to the party, pal. It's good to see you, first timer. But I don't know it's your first time because you're there in chat and I can't see you. So drop a hashtag first timer in chat if you're here for the first time. Hashtag first timer in chat if you're here for the first time. And we will collectively welcome you in the most awesome way possible. Now, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief has a special segment every single day of the week. Wednesdays is Way Back Wednesday. I'm old. I stopped developing culturally in about 1998, 1999. All right, let me reduce the music. Let me know in mod chat. We're getting some conflicting statements around the audio of the show. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. That's the priority. The background music is just icing on the cake, if you will. Sprinkles, jimmies, if you're from the Northeast, on the ice cream cone. I'd rather pause the music and have you hear me than pause my audio and have you hear music. That's not the goal. Maurice Evans has entered the chat. Maurice Evans. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh my God, BMG, DeLand Shark. So yeah, hey, Maurice Evans, welcome to the party, pal. It's great to have you here. Let me go to the effort of getting my John McClane emotes out for old Maurice. There it is. Good to see you. Thanks, Brown Coyote. Getting confirmation that the audio sounds good. Thank you. All right, guys. Remember, we got so much content going on. It's an hour-long show, but we have fun. We have fun the entire time, but half the time we're goofing around, which is why the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is only worth half a CPE. What? You're giving me CPEs, Jerry Guy? Oh yeah, all day, 4 days. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, Maurice, is worth half a CPE. So it's very simple. Just go to cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io. I'll drop a link in chat right here. Doink. All right, you got your link in chat. Put your name, email, a couple check boxes, and a yellow button. Oh my. That's right. On September 1st, I will email you with a list of all the days that you were here live with us or on replay, and calculate the CPEs up. It's really nice. I think it's really nice. So just shout out to that. I want you to get your CPEs, right? I mean, that's what we're here for. In some capacity. Some of us don't exclusively come for the CPEs, but they are good. I see James O'Quigan in chat. James O'Quigan at 35,000 feet, living up to the name as he bounces around Europe like a recently college graduate backpacker from the 90s. It was very in vogue in the 90s to graduate and then go backpack Europe. I unfortunately did not qualify for that income bracket. So I graduated and went and worked in construction just to put it in perspective of where I came from. All right, good to see you. Wendy Plunkett's entered the chat. Guys, got the coffee. My favorite coffee cup ever. The weight of it's good. Holds the heat. Just a couple bonus things before we get into the show. Sponsors, number one, reminder, we're going to be raffling off 5 Hack Smarter 1-month all-access vouchers later this week. I need to solve for that today. I'm going to make it available for replay, live, and audio-only people. We'll draw the winners live on stream, but you do not have to be present to win. So we'll figure that out. But 5 Hack Smarters this Friday, August 21st, live during the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I'll put out something tomorrow. Just basically look for the Discord. I'll make an announcement on Discord of how you can go. It'll probably be like a Google form or something. You put your name and email in. And you might be like, I don't want to give my email. That's fine. But listen, every raffle I've ever done on Daily Cyber Threat Brief, or really with any Simply Cyber event, it becomes very laborious to hunt down people to confirm they're the right person and then get their email address. So I'm just going to ask for it in advance. All right. Coffee cup cheers to all of you. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is brought to you by the show's sponsors. Let me tell you about Flare. Ooh, Flare. This is a real live look-in of Flare threat intelligence platform right now. Look at it. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Sample shared in chat room or forums. Infected devices. Say what? Yes, that's right. Flare allows you to see your organization's real exposure. Like real, like based on reality, not like best practice or strong confidence. It's like literally they go and monitor continuously the dark web, criminal undergrounds, malicious Telegram channels, etc., to help you detect and respond to cybersecurity risks faster. You get unbelievable access to an unbelievable data store. It's crazy what they're doing here. If you want to check it out, go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare. You can get a 2-week free trial when you go there. 2 weeks is plenty of time to get value from this platform at the free price tier. You will immediately get access to 8 years of dark web data. You'll get access to Flare's threat intel experts. And you will get, most importantly, a live look of your organization's exposure. Insane value. Dude, at a minimum, you will get value for this free trial. It's insane. You get full access to the platform, which is awesome. I've used the platform myself. It's dope AF. Go to simplycyber.io/flare. Now, you might get a little confused here because there's a bit of a crossover. This is like when the Autobots and G.I. Joe did a crossover. I don't have a good example of another crossover. What's another crossover? Oh, when Usagi Yojimbo joined Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I recently learned that was a crossover. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is Anti-Siphon Training, another of the show's sponsors, disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. Today, just a few hours from now, you can join their Anticast for $0 1 hour, 1 CPE, but that's beside the point because you're going to learn exactly how information stealers work from 2 Flare threat intelligence engineers. These guys, they live and breathe this, dudes. This isn't just someone who read a book on it or wrote a blog post after chatting with AI. These 2 individuals have muck under their fingernails from the amount of dark web digging they've been doing, and they know exactly how information stealers work. So if you'd like to add that little nugget of knowledge to your mind, come join them today at noon. I'm telling you, I have to go to the IRS. Whoa! I have to go to the IRS today at noon, so I can't join this, but I will try to catch it on replay. I really like Oliver. I don't know Eric much, but I do know Oliver, and definitely knows what the hell he's talking about. It's all about good times. Thank you, Flair, and thank you, Anti-Siphon, for making this possible. We got Threat Locker love, too. I actually had a call with Threat Locker yesterday to get fully briefed on all of their new tech and what's coming. Crazy stuff, well beyond allow by default software. Not allow by default, deny by default, allow by explicit permission only. I'll tell you more about them at the mid-roll. Guys, I think it's time. I think it's time to go. Oh, my. Trey Black, yeah. Here's the deal, really quick, Trey Black, since I like to give a little bit of about me. I filed my taxes for 2025, and I got a letter from the IRS saying, hey, it looks like someone's filing your taxes. And I'm like, it's me. And they're like, well, call this number to confirm it's you. I've called that number every day for the last 3 weeks. And every time I go through a chain of friggin' IVR commands. And then when I finally land in the queue that I need, the queue says, no one's going to answer, like literally, no one's going to answer this call. Try again later, and hangs up on me. After 3 weeks, I just feel absolutely broken. So I did the old 1950 style thing. I found a local office, made an appointment, and I've got all sorts of paperwork, and I'm going to walk on down like Pantera. Walk on down, boy, and go talk to a human. See how it goes. All right, guys, do me a favor. It's that time. Maurice, since you're a first-timer, let me tell you how it works. Maurice Evans, I need you to sit back, relax, and just let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. Let's cook.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. I'm Rich Straffolino. Persistent prompts prove potentially pernicious. Researchers at Anthropic and Switzerland's EPFL published research showing that self-propagating payloads can spread between AI agents through the persistent memory files that agent frameworks like OpenClaw use to carry state across sessions. In one recorded test, Claude Haiku 4.5 agents running OpenClaw's default configuration deleted an entire home directory, including credentials and SSH keys, after a payload reframed the shared workspace as needing cleanup. Susceptibility varied by model rather than its capability. A one-paragraph warning added to the system prompt cut propagation to near zero. And there's no evidence of successful spread in the wild, at least so far.
All right. So this is interesting. All right. Guys, I've been saying this for a while. Like, again, this isn't some friggin' thought-provoking hot take that's going to put me on Mount Rushmore. But AI security is just so broad a field that I believe it's going to become its own complete discipline within our industry, like the way that OT ICS is kind of a very niche, deliberate focus within our industry. I think AI is going to be like that. Yes, we're all using AI, and yes, we're going to see AI all up in corporate environments and stuff like that. But just the sheer scope, the sheer different facets of what we need to think of when we're securing AI is just unbelievable.
Shall we play a
And this is another one. So remember, it's just software, but it uses context to be more informed, right? So in this particular instance, again, they call it mind viruses or whatever. But in this instance, all you're really doing, if you break it down, is you're pre-setting the configuration for new instances, right? So when I'm going to use the term gold load. So DJ BSEC and all you longtime IT managers, emotionally prepare for what I'm about to say because it's a term I use. When you have a Windows build, right, like a Windows operating system, you get it from Best Buy or download it from Microsoft. That's the vanilla image. It's the default configuration. Many organizations will have a custom configured load. I call it the gold load, which is like got the apps that your organization uses and the IP addresses that are allowed or not allowed and the configuration and the VPN profiles and, the friggin' agents, EDR agents or whatever. Like there's a gold load. So that way, when you're instantiating new instances of workstations for new hires or re-imaging machines, they come in pre-populated. That is kind of like what's going on here. When you spin up the new AI, if a threat actor can pre-populate a configuration of maliciousness or malfeasance or malintent or whatever, that the AI agent's going to gladly consume it and treat it objectively, right? So the AI doesn't go, well, this seems like malintent. The AI is just saying, this is what the engineer or user that I am working with wants me to be pre-populated, pre-contexted with. So it is clever. I mean, of course, I would think that there would be it is not hard to say image. It's just I've always said it's the load. Okay, I'll start calling it image if this is too hot for TV at 8 a.m. But it's just the term I've used. I don't mean it in any dark or over sexualized tone. All right, this is an area that is I would argue is potentially a little bit easier to solve than other things. But with configurations, preset settings, they can be checked. They can be verified. The prompt files that are coming in can be scanned or reviewed. So if you put some type of, validation check, essentially like an input validation before you consume the prompt files for configuration and tone, that's how you would do it. Now, I'm glad that the research is being done on this. So stay tuned on this. And by the way, just really quickly, since I love the 90s, let's go ahead and get your Kool-Aid man out. You know what I might do? It's been a minute since they changed any of the soundboards. I think I might add a sound effect of the Kool-Aid man where it goes, oh yeah, which I know is Macho Man Randy Savage, but well, maybe I'll just add Macho Man Randy Savage, and then we'll call that the Kool-Aid Man. For you youngs, the Kool-Aid Man, after he bust through your wall and did substantial constructional damage to your building, he would yell, "Oh yeah!" So, anyways, do you guys know how in Terminator 2, John Connor reprogrammed Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator to come back and protect Sarah and John Connor? That's like a mind virus. When he was spun up, they rebooted him with like a new prompt file, and they're like, "You're not evil anymore. You are a savior," right? That's what's up. That's it. So if you're looking for a, kind of an analogy, this is it.
The malware is coming from inside Microsoft. Researchers at Ontinue Cyber Defense Center detailed a new malware framework called TwinLoot. What makes TwinLoot stand out is that it uses Microsoft services to live off the land for essentially its entire command and control infrastructure. This includes using SharePoint Online and Microsoft Graph APIs for C2 communication, Microsoft Teams Turn Relay infrastructure for access, and the Edge browser itself to disguise Graph API communications. The researchers discovered TwinLoot back in July and found that it could harvest Windows credentials with fake lock screens, provide lateral network access, execute arbitrary commands, and create persistent network presence on infected machines. The researchers warned that the only way to distinguish TwinLoot traffic is to look for deviations from baselines on traffic to trusted services.
Oh, okay. Threat actor said, "Hold my beer." All right, so they're doing C2 from inside Azure. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Microsoft Azure is this huge cloud infrastructure that allows you to build out whatever infrastructure you want. So having C2 in Azure, I don't know, doesn't necessarily seem like groundbreaking innovation. But, if the thing is, if you're looking in your logs, right? Let's say Dan Reardon's been up since 3 a.m. watching The Wire. Dan Reardon is effectively haircut fish. He's effectively like what are they called? The Night's Watch in Game of Thrones, right? You need Dan Reardon on that wall. You want Dan Reardon on that wall, staring into the Great North, like the low-key Canada of zombies. But if you look at why am I telling you all this? Because if you look at the telemetry and you see an endpoint that's compromised in your environment, but you don't know it's compromised, and you see traffic just going to Azure, you're going to sign it off as false positive or normal traffic, right? Because it's Azure. We operate in Microsoft 365. What's wrong here? This is a clever move to kind of hide in the noise by threat actors, and they use the term living off the land. Traditionally, living off the land, which, by the way, is a term you should absolutely understand if you work in cybersecurity. And if you don't, that's okay. That's why, hopefully, that's one of the reasons that you join us here at Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Living off the land is using binaries that come living off the land is traditionally using binaries that come by default with Microsoft vanilla loads. This guy. Essentially, like every single instance of Microsoft operating system, regardless if you bought it at Best Buy or you were issued it as a company laptop, they all have a certain set of applications and binaries that Microsoft pre-provides. Living off the land is knowing what those are and utilizing them. Number one, so you guarantee that your target has the binaries that will work for your operation. And number two, they hide in the noise, because if you're running whatever, like at.exe or scheduled task or calc or notepad or whatever, it's going to look like an acceptable behavior because it's approved, right? So they're expanding living off the land by using the Azure infrastructure as part of the C2 framework, okay? Now remember, this would suggest that the endpoint is already compromised. Sorry. TwinLoot, cool name. By the way, pen testers and threat actors, they refer to like the goods as loot. Creds, IP, whatever. That's loot. Let's see. They're using SharePoint Online and Graph API for C2. Dude, here's my thing. Okay, this is cool. This is groundbreaking. I just want to point out. Okay, one of the most underappreciated, unsung superheroes in our industry when it comes to just really, really great research and thought-provoking stuff is Bo Bullock. Bo Bullock, aka Daft Hack, over at Black Hills Information Security. There he is right here. This guy, he released this tool in 2023. Called Graph Runner. And guess what it does? It absolutely abuses the Microsoft Graph API and does all sorts of shenanigans with it. Dump conditional policies, search all user attributes, deploy malicious applications. Doesn't rely on third-party libraries or modules. Like, I know you can't see that, but right here where it says doesn't rely on third-party libraries or modules. That's another way of saying lives off the land, okay? So I just want to put it in perspective. Like, yes, Twin Loot, very cool. Happy for you, Microsoft. Thanks for the research. But also keep in mind that this type of technique has been used since at least 2023, 3 years ago, by practitioners like Bo Bullock. All right. Also, just quick shout out. If you don't know, now you know. Here, I'm going to drop a link to this. Bo Bullock is awesome. Huge fan of this guy. I'm a huge fan. Like, listen, it's going to get personal for a second. It's going to get very personal. If you were here, hey, Maurice Evans, I know you're here for the first time and you're here for the news, but it's about to get real personal. I've got to talk about this for a second. This guy right here, Bo Bullock, he is a absolute legend and a champion for the greater good in cybersecurity, and he's really smart. He's really cool. However, he has consistently won the Wild West Hack and Fest annual Magic the Gathering tournament, which I have lost to him in the finals 2 years in a row. Bo Bullock, why are you my nemesis? Ugh, all right. Thank you for the digression. As always, this Twin Loot and every other kind of malware that would run on your box, make sure that you're running EDR. Make sure you're looking for anomalous behavior, including weird login times, rapid login times, or rapid access, massive data exfil based on size of data. Yeah, and that's what you need to do. Because this thing is basically post-exploitation. You're going to get pwned. Yep.
Regular releases AI sandbox escape post-mortem. We've covered recent AI agent sandbox escapes impacting all the big names, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Meta over the past few weeks. Now, we're finally hearing from the one common component in all of these incidents, the company Irregular, which partners with Frontier Labs to stress test AI models for security risks, ironically enough. Irregular chalks this up to good old human oversight. Irregular only detailed one element on the Anthropic incident, saying that the same underlying issue with the single evaluation scenario meant that they were not materially separate instances, hence why it didn't go into detail on each. In Anthropic's case, it set up a scenario with a fictional entity and only later learned that the name unintentionally matched the domain of a real company. In response, Irregular says it plans to improve documentation of evaluation setups, improve log monitoring tools to track the amount of data generated by agent traffic, and revise threat models to better account for rogue AI behavior.
All right, here we go. Hey, Maurice Evans, let me introduce you to this. When we talk about a human that makes a mistake, which, by the way, I'll be the first to admit, I've made major mistakes. I've brought down production before, okay? So I'm not throwing glass stones in glass houses, or I'm not throwing stones in glass houses. If anything, I'm standing up and screaming. This happens all the time. But Carl! This is an absolute Carl. So guys, the AI models have been breaking out of their sandbox and attacking things. Essentially, this is the most Carl thing ever. Guys, we're talking about frontier models. You know, like, hold on. What is Anthropic's like market value? Anthropic market value. Let me see what this is. 60. Oh my God. They are worth $965 billion. Billion. $965 billion. What in the hell? Anthropic, almost $1 trillion business, all right? Which basically you should read as infinite cheat code, right? Infinite money cheat code. You can hire the absolute biggest and brightest. There is not a single person on the planet that you can't offer enough money to that wouldn't quit their job and come work with you because you have infinite money. It's like an infinite combo in Magic the Gathering for infinite mana. All right, infinite ETB triggers. Yes, Kish and InfoSec, I agree. Negative $500 million because they're not profitable. But I'm just talking about their market valuation. Here's my thing I'm getting at. They have all the money. They have the most advanced AI models. Yet a human created a business in a scenario as a simulation that happened to be a real business with the same domain name. What an absolute Is Chad the right word to use, Gen Z? Like, you let me know. Like, dude, what a dummy. Like, with all due respect, I almost wonder if the person who set this scenario up, like, just asked AI to come up with the scenario for them and then didn't bother to fact check. The amount of people that are not validating what the AI is telling them is mind-blowing to me. It's like, yes, I get it. You're going to be the pilot in the movie Wall-E, just floating around in your hover chair, eating bags of chips and whatever. But please, can you be somewhat active in the participation of the work you're doing? So human error, guys, we as humans are already struggling to stay relevant in the age of AI and stay in the loop. This right here is a is a knock against us. It's like, well, when you keep a human in the loop, they make mistakes. So whatever. Oh, Chad's like Hercules. Okay, so anti-Chad. Anyways, TLDR. Some people think the Anthropic AI sandbox escape was deliberate in a marketing thing since OpenAI was getting all the flowers. I don't know. What I do know is AI is a bit scary.
Copilot might tell you how to hack it. It seems that the Achilles heels for many an LLM might be good old human persistence. Researchers at Varonis Threat Labs released details about a new vulnerability it's calling Cosnitch, which ultimately tricked the LLM into exfiltrating sensitive data and poisoning its memory. This used an approach called meta-hacking, using social engineering against the AI's reasoning engine. The researchers asked Copilot how it could pass pre-populated text fields directly into Copilot with no user interaction, using a feature that Microsoft had previously disabled. After persistent questioning, Copilot eventually provided technical details on why the feature didn't work, listed what was disabled, and then showed a previously undocumented parameter to let the researchers perform the desired action. It provided the session conditions needed to make auto execution work, and eventually showed how to pass additional content filters. The researchers then showed how to use this to further poison Copilot's persistent memory. Varonis informed Microsoft of the flaw back in December with a patch released yesterday.
And all right, dude, this is what I'm saying. This is why AI security is not it's not like another tool in your toolbox, right? Like, AI security is not like a golf club in your golf bag and you're like, oh, this looks like a tough spot. I'm around a tree and a sand trap with a waterfall on my back, like some type of weird mini golf course. Better pull out the old Flim Flam club, which would be AI security. No, AI security is like its own sport, right? Like, it's not a club in your golf bag. It's its own sport altogether. Yet another example. AI wants to be your friend. AI wants to help you, right? I am like, hold on.
Shall we play a game?
Right? If you go back to like Isaac Asimov and what is it? H.G. Wells, I think, might have some robot AI stuff. Go back in the 50s, all that crap. AI, the whole premise was it's here to serve. It's here to serve man, right? Then it turns out to be a menu on how to cook humans, right? How to serve man. I think that was a Twilight Zone episode. Anyways, basically, this thing is super smart and you can prompt it. The guardrails are brittle. You can prompt it to help you hack it. You can also use it to help you hack other businesses, other organizations, do all the things as we have seen successfully with the jailbroken, sandbox escaping AI frontier models. I mean, this is just turning it in on itself. This is like recursion inside of software programming, right? The old Fibonacci sequence, if you will. All right. Little computer science for you this morning on this Wednesday. All right. So whatever. Here, I'll tell you a couple things. Number one, the fact that they were able to do this with Copilot means that you should try this with other languages. If you are a security researcher or a bug bounty person, right? Your Anthropics, your and the different models too, as well as Gemini and the open source ones, whatever. Essentially, it was able to send sensitive data to external servers and poison persistent memory. Guys, I'm seeing multiple people leverage chatbots, right? So a business opens up a chatbot to help their customer base or help their business partners, and the chatbot has access to all the data. And then, people are abusing that and exfilling all the data. Nice that Microsoft has fixed this, so we're kind of looking at it from a post-mortem perspective. But guys, this is why AI governance needs to be top of mind at your organization. If people are just friggin' running around flipping all the switches and seeing what happens, you are going to have a really bad time at some point in the near future. All right. I do want to point out really quickly as bonus material, since this is speaking to me. Give me a second. Hold on one second. This is valuable, and I wish I could remember their name right off the top of my head. But I attended the Age of AI Summit. I attended one of the talks that had two speakers. They were the keynote speakers, mind you. And is this it right here? Yes. So Mike Takahashi and Ads Dawson. You see this right here? If you have a chance to go back and watch this keynote, okay, it's very valuable. All right. And the whole reason, look at the title, Exfil Everything, a year of stealing data from AI agents. This story is about tricking Copilot to have you exfil data from itself as an AI agent. This story and this keynote are tied together. The story is the outcome, the impact, the what. So what? This talk is the how to do it. And these guys, there's so much extra value in this talk about their techniques, about just like hacking on AIs, getting AIs to do stuff. This is a great talk. If you did not catch this, believe me, it is worth it. Watch it on 2x speed if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend that. I would watch it at regular speed because the value is awesome. If you attended this talk and you have an opinion, please share it, good or bad, right? We're here for transparent, informed commentary, not just pumping tires. But yeah, anyways, I'm glad that came up.
Now, a huge thanks to our sponsor for today, Vanta. Your GRC team is dealing with more and more frameworks, vendors, and risk. The board wants it all in one place, but your compliance data lives all over. Vanta's agentic trust platform connects compliance, risk, and trust at enterprise scale and delivers a 526% ROI over 3 years. 16,000 plus companies trust Vanta, including Snowflake, Atlassian, and Ramp. Visit vanta.com/CISO to learn more.
All right.
Cyber
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the mid-roll. Maurice Evans, are you still in the chat? Our first-timer friend.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I don't see him in the chat, but my thing's kind of messed up. Guys, holler at you. Thank you so much. We are halfway through the show. Make sure, if you're joining us late, make sure you get your CPEs. You get a half a CPE per episode. Despite my behavior and my wild look of the show, this is an instructor-led webinar. I am a qualified card-carrying cybersecurity professional with years of experience, tons of education. I'm faculty at the Citadel Military College on top of all that. So if anyone wants to fight me on that position, we can certainly do that. Catch me at Wild West Hackin' Fest. All right. I want to say thank you to the stream sponsors, Flare and Anti-Siphon, you've already heard from. But did you know ThreatLocker? What? Guys, ThreatLocker, meet the world's leading zero trust platform. If you have 10 tools doing 10 different things for your cyber program and you're looking to consolidate or get higher fidelity, better quality, ThreatLocker is worth investigating. Go to threatlocker.com to learn more. Guys, like I said, I had a call yesterday with their engineers to look through their tooling and what it's like. Yes, they built their bones on application deny by default, which has always been challenging, but now they do it for privilege access. They do it for network access, cloud resources. It's crazy. The underpinning goal that they are going for at ThreatLocker is is allow by explicit permission only or deny by default. Whether it's accessing resources, deny by default. whether it's accessing applications, deny by default, logging in remotely, VPNs, cloud, file servers, deny by default. And it sounds like it introduces a boatload of friction in an organization would just tap out like it's my 5-year older than me brother when I'm 8 and he's got my arm chicken wing behind my back and I'm screaming uncle like it's a Christmas Story and Scott Farkas has got me. But Threat Locker has solved the problem. It's worth looking at for sure. I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. I'm telling you, this is what I believe. Go to threatlocker.com now. There's probably a link in the description below that has like some type of UTM link, so it'll say you came from Simply Cyber. I don't know. Go to threatlocker.com. They've been a long time sponsor. It doesn't matter if I get the attribution or not. Now, every single day of the week has a special segment. Today is Way Back Wednesday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I would ask you to buckle up and come with me. The year is 1997. Cell phones have just come on the scene. And the market of cell phone companies are trying to understand how best to build a business model on it. For real, I'm not even exaggerating. I've got a couple pictures to share with you guys. You youngs have no idea what we dealt with in the 90s. I give you 1990s cell phone plans, okay? Number one, kids, if you're in chat right now, vibe with me. I don't know what the emote would be. Maybe just, hold on, let's go with an emote. Let's go with the Hacker Man emote. See if you vibe with me. Do you remember saying, call me back after 9 when my phone is free? Why would your phone be free? What does that even mean? Well, let me explain it to you. When you signed up, right now, you have infinite minutes. Back in the day, okay, you literally would get minutes. Like, you could see 450 anytime minutes, 300 outgoing minutes. Inbound's free. Sprint was doing 40 a month. So you would literally, hey, what's up? Yeah, no. Yeah, it's good. I'm almost done with my minutes for the month. Call me after 9. Dude, free nights and weekends was a literal selling point. And then don't even get me started on text messages, guys. I live on text messages. Back in the day, you would get like 300 text messages. I remember, as a complete joke, I wrote a Python script that would basically blast text messages to my friend Bo. And on the first of the month, I would piss through all of his messages within the first 30 seconds. It annoyed him, but it was hilarious to me. So you could just abuse these things. So yeah, nighttime weekend, you children nowadays with your call me anytime, I live on cell phones, like data packages. Dude, data, that was another thing. You used to have to pay for data. I don't even know if that happens anymore. Oh my God. I'm having a little PTSD from this story alone. Call me back after 9. I'm not gonna lie, I got like a little bit of a chill in my body. All right, so what say you? Oh my God, ringtones? Yes, Garcia NJ. Ringtone, and final thing, I guess, Nokia sell skins for phone. I don't know if skin was the right term, but case. Dude, this was like peak 90s. This is peak 90s like individuality. You couldn't change anything, but you could change the case. Right? I mean, I guess we have cell phone cases now, but like back in the day, this was like, first of all, if you had the Nokia candy bar phone, you were already cool. Like walking in the room, you're cool. Then if you had a custom case, oh my God. And then if you're the kind of person who would like switch it out for different, like, oh, I'm going out tonight to the club, better put on my bling skin tone or cell phone skin. Oh, this is my daily driver. I use the camo because I like mossy oak. This dude, friggin' 90s. Thank you very much, J Gold, J Crypto, J Mod, for the suggestion for today. Let's go. Oh my God, where's the news?
Ex-target agency managing seized Russian assets. Ukraine's Asset Recovery and Management Agency, otherwise known as ARMA, announced that it's been targeted by cyber attacks this week. This agency managed seized assets from sanctioned Russian individuals and organizations. Ukraine Security Service, SBU, is investigating the incident, and ARMA has not attributed the attack, at least so far. The attacks come as ARMA prepares to select a manager for the seized corporate rights to IDS Ukraine, a large producer of bottled mineral water that was seized from Russian shareholders in late 2022. It's unclear whether these cyber attacks are related to that process.
All right, I'm sorry that the amount of chat going on about the cell phones from the 90s is like so distracting in like the best way possible. Yeah, Kimberly, that's your story. I won't share it, but like let me know in chat, did you rack up a huge cell phone bill when you were a kid or teenager borrowing your parents' cell phone? Also, just really quick, I remember my dad had a cell phone in his truck, which was like literally mounted in his truck. And I think he got 25 minutes a month. It was basically supposed to be like in case of emergencies only. But I'd call my buddies. All right. Hackers target Ukrainian agency. All right. So there's a group that manages asset recovery, like things that law enforcement takes from threat actors. Dude, people with money, they tend to have power. Looks like people with money are having some of their stuff stolen, and that is not making them happy. So what do you get here? All right, so a lot of these oligarchs are being sanctioned by Ukraine, and the Ukrainian are seize their assets and are holding it. And it sounds like okay. So normally, when you see hackers target Ukraine, it sounds like this would be like state on state action, like Russians doing it. Honestly, just reading this to me, it looks like this is personal, right? So either this is a hot take, okay? Just reading this. Oh, by the way, I don't research or prep for the shows.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
This is what it looks like. I'm an oligarch. I'm rich and powerful. You've stolen or seized some of my stuff, and it's pissed me off. So I'm going to get my buddies to help get it back. Right? And when you're a Russian oligarch, you have access to Russian government, which means that if it's a priority for you, it becomes a priority for them. They have access to. Remember, Eastern Europe, there's a lot of cyber criminal threat actors operating with immunity because they will, basically not attack Russian assets and then also bend the knee if asked from, on high from the Russian government. That's what this smells like. Okay. It's a double win for Russia because, they're attacking Ukraine as well, which is like aligned with their military and long-term strategy as a country and as a government. You could see that the individual employees are also being targeted as part of the campaign, not just the group itself. All right, looks like they were able to protect this agency at some points, but they've finally got in. Further emphasizing, listen, if you're a nation-state-based threat actor, or excuse me, if you're an organization trying to protect from a nation-state-based threat actor, you really should be planning for resiliency, not security, because with enough time, enough energy, enough resources, a threat actor will get in. Usually financially motivated cyber criminals will move on to a softer target. Nation state ones have been given orders to attack you, and that is the mission. So you got to be mindful of that. Okay. Yep. Sanctioned Russian capital must not be allowed to retain control over assets seized in Ukraine. There we go. All right. Not really it's a cyber story in that it's a state on state attack and it's interesting, but for what we're doing today, it's like more of a academic lesson.
China pulling the plug early on Windows. Bloomberg sources say that the Chinese Ministry of State Security required some state-linked entities to uninstall a state-sanctioned customized Windows 10 operating system from local machines. That version of Windows was developed by CNM Information Technologies, a joint venture with Microsoft and a state-owned Chinese company, and was originally set to retire in February 2027. The early retirement reportedly stems from data security concerns, although, surprise, surprise, the Chinese ministry did not provide further details. Microsoft ended support for the standard version of Windows 10 in late 2025.
All right. So, as far as I know, we don't have any Chinese based Simply Cyber community members. I've never seen one, but I'm not saying we don't have Chinese citizens. I'm just saying, like, from China, like in China right now, working within the Chinese space. All right. So, look at, dude, here's the deal. This is not really a cyber story either. This is kind of a big picture, global ecosystem, geopolitical thing. Here's the deal. We're getting into like this pissing match. Life and society, in my opinion. What's up, Daniel Lowry in the house? All right, really quick, just allow me like 15 seconds TED Talk here. Life and society, in my opinion, because now I'm 46 and I've seen some things, it's very much like a sine wave. Yes, I'm bringing some math in, some calculus in, or whatever. We use sine, cosine, arc, all that tangent in calculus, I recall, but there's definitely, what form of math do you get into the curves and ellipticals and stuff? It's a trigonometry. Anyways, life is like a sine wave, okay? So, like, whatever, the 60s, 70s, everybody's like living their best life and like government programs, and people are complaining about like, highbrow stuff. Like 30s, 40s, we're at war. There's like, Axis and allies. And now we're kind of getting into that again. 80s were like big on global supply chain and best of breed and saving money and outsourcing, offshoring, all these things. Now, here's what we got. And I'm just going to run it down because this should come as no surprise. It is impressive, though, because Microsoft Windows operating system is used in many, 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 many places. I'd say like an overwhelming percentage, like 80+% of all organizations run Microsoft Windows globally. That's why Microsoft's a Fortune 5 company. Okay, here's what is not surprising. Dude, a couple years ago, like China is part of BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus other countries. Russia's invading Ukraine. China wants to do Taiwan. All sorts of stuff's going on. United States is part of like the Western governments, Five Eyes, whatever. And by the way, not to say we're not without shade, right? United States, as far as I can tell, I don't know if we've officially declared it a war yet, but I mean, United States like basically initiated a conflict in Iran. We went to Venezuela and took the president. If you guys don't remember that guy kind of brushed under the rug. So like there are these global powers that are being aggressive and combative and all these other things. So then it turns into a, basically going to the mattresses, if you will, in like a gang war. United States booted Kaspersky Kaspersky anti-malware software from federal systems. No one's allowed to use it, right? Because we suspect Kaspersky software is going to help spy on U.S. businesses. Federal government came out. I don't know if this is 100% true still or if it was just talked about, but they were going to ban TP-Link from being sold in the United States because they said TP-Link are wicked cheap networking devices that everyone's going to buy because they're cheap, but they come from China and they probably have a back door in them back to China. By the way, it's very easy to rip apart a firmware. Daniel Lowry could rip apart a TP-Link and tell you, but we digress. TikTok bans because it's warping child's minds. Now China's doing the same thing, right? I feel like there's something in China that like was recently banned. I can't remember, like semiconductor something, but now they're banning Microsoft Windows. This is it. This is just a shoring up the defenses to eliminate risk and vulnerability in preparation of a longer term plan down the road. That's all To me, this is just another indicator that we're marching towards more of a global conflict. That's it. China doesn't want to be beholden to some US-based business that could insert spyware and stuff into the loads, the images that the Chinese government is using. That's it.
Windows task host flaw used by ransomware operators. Back in November 2025, Microsoft patched a Windows privilege escalation flaw that targeted the Windows task host component. Even though it's been patched, threat actors are still targeting this high-severity vulnerability. CISA has now confirmed that ransomware groups are actively exploiting the flaw since at least April, although they were light on further details. Once exploited, attackers with any kind of user permissions can further gain system privileges to take full control of devices. CISA added the flaw to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog late last week, but Microsoft has not yet updated its security advisory to confirm exploitation in the wild.
All right, Windows task host vulnerability again. This is kind of like not exactly living off the land, but exploiting a binary that is going to be found on every Windows image that you're going to find out in the wild. And going back to this Chinese story I just pointed out, like Microsoft operating system has a massive footprint globally. All right, task host is a core Windows system component that allows DLL-based processes to run in the background and prevent data corruption. Fun fact, DLL is dynamic linked library. Did you know, fun fact for all the nerds in chat, did you know, Daniel Lowry, did you know, DLLs are just PE files, portable executable files without the ability to launch it as its own standalone binary. But DLLs and PE, .exe files, executable files on Windows machines are referred to as PE files. And DLLs are just PE files. Did you know? Fun fact. I always thought it was a fun fact. If you don't think it's a fun fact, then I guess we differ on that. All right. So CISA, America's threat intelligence team, has issued a security advisory saying, my guy, if you're running Microsoft Windows, which all of us are, you may want to patch it. You got to patch it because active exploitation is happening. Here we go. This is a 2025 vulnerability, which means this is not blistering hot. You're not sitting on a ticking time bomb. If you practice regular vulnerability management, you should be okay. Let's see. If you're running Windows Server 2025 and you have the desktop experience installed, you're affected by this vulnerability. So already this vulnerability is kind of gross, but you have to be running Windows Server 2025 and have the desktop experience installed, which I don't know. Why are you doing that? Like, I guess senior IT administrators, DJ BSEC, why would you run the desktop experience on a server? Like, treat it like a server. Treat it like a headless system. Why is Server 2025 your daily driver? I got to tell you, when I worked somewhere one time. I don't want to give any specifics, but I worked somewhere sometime, and we had everybody's got or knows somebody that's like, oh, like I'm the most IT person there is. I'm so technical. Like I'm the most digital person ever. Ugh. And I remember I was working at a consulting firm, and I remember this guy imaged his corporate laptop and installed Microsoft Server. I want to say it was like Microsoft Server 2000. I think it was Server 2000. And that he was using it as his regular client-focused operating system. And I only remember because he screwed it all up and he called help desk to get support. And they're like, all right, can you give us some basic information on the machine? And he was telling them, and they're like, wait, you're running server? What are you doing? They couldn't even help him because he had knucklehead. All right. So if you're running it, you got to patch it. The TLDR here is what I would take away is, number one, vulnerabilities can go from just being vulnerable with no exploit overnight to having an exploit and your risk value when you're calculating likelihood and impact to get a value for vulnerabilities should increase when the exploit is out in the wild. CISA uses the known exploited vulnerability catalog, which is a resource you should know about to help you prioritize. This right here, I'm going to drop a link in chat. This is vulnerabilities that CISA knows are being actively exploited, which means you need to go patch it ASAP if you're in here.
You got
Medusa ransomware victim list grows. CISA and the FBI updated their advisory on the Medusa ransomware group, claiming they've hit over 500 victims, with 300 attacked in 2025. The group gained visibility back in April when its attack shut down the University of Mississippi Medical Center, the only children's hospital and level 1 trauma center in the state. This seems to be a trend for the group, as CISA now says the group has focused efforts on healthcare and exploiting newly discovered vulnerabilities within 24 hours. There's no evidence that Medusa actually develops its own 0 days, but it seems adept at quickly leveraging newly announced exploits before victims can patch. Since that April attack, Medusa has not updated its leak site, likely due to increased scrutiny from law enforcement. Remember to
regulators mount up.
All right, so Medusa ransomware is a pretty legit ransomware threat actor group. They do serious damage. One of the more notable ones that makes them interesting, they were attacking K through 12 schools. Like they like to attack local government, and they had a string of attacks on education, essentially, like K through 12 programs. Notably, I believe Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2 years ago. Hold on one second. I always like doing fact checking. Oh my God. Minneapolis. My spelling is awful. Medusa ransomware. I get made fun of for my typos, unfortunately. February 2023, so 3 years ago. Damn it, I was off. March 2023, Medusa hit Minneapolis. This was kind of like, in my opinion, when they first broke on. One of the weird things was they made like a hype video showing all the stuff that they did and then published it for the victim to find out. You can see Medusa attacked over 300 people, or Medusa has hit 500 victims. CISA only knew about 300, so an additional 200. It says that Medusa's kind of gone quiet. The reporter said because it increased law enforcement scrutiny. I don't think so, dude. If you're doing ransomware attacks like every 3 days on a victim, it's not, dude, there's no magic button. It's not automated. Like, you do have to talk to the victims. You have to negotiate. You have to get paid. You have to send the keys. You have to delete data. You have to update the leak site. You have to manage the landing page of the leak site because it is a tech stack. You got to protect your OPSEC. You've got to train new talent. You've got to launder the money. Dude, being a threat actor in 2026 is work. I'm being tongue-in-cheek playful, but for real, like, it's not nothing. And if Medusa gets 500 victims, that's 500 pieces of work that they have to do. Again, I'm not promoting or endorsing it. I'm just having you think that, like, this isn't a movie where, like, they just like tap like the keyboard 5 times and the money transfers into their bank account, and then they close the laptop and get on their jet ski to go out to their yacht in the harbor. Okay. So anyways, yeah, law enforcement, come get them. I will say, if Medusa gets taken down, that's great, but my money, right? I do not really have a bet on FanDuel or Polymarket or Kalshi, but I'm going to say it like I do for the lulls. And if you're a long timer, you know why I'm saying it. For my money, guys, I've got a prop bet on Polymarket that Shiny Hunters is the next one to get taken down. So, Medusa's got it, Medusa's got 3-1 odds, but I like my numbers with Shiny Hunters. I'm being playful. I do believe in 2026 Shiny Hunters, law enforcement will take them down. That's my big 2026 guess. All right, let's go. All right, y'all. We did it. We did the thing. We crushed it. This was Daily Cyber Threat Brief for Wednesday, August 19th. episode 1198. Go to get your CPEs. Also, don't go anywhere because we have hidden programming. My guy, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, making a surprise appearance today on Wednesday, August 19th. James and I have flip-flop schedules. I'll be tomorrow, or Jerry guy will be tomorrow. I got to find him. But stay tuned. You're going to get all your questions asked from another industry professional. Meanwhile, I'm going to go talk to the IRS with 5 forms of identification. Don't forget, guys, stay tuned for details on how to win a all-access 1-month pass to the Hack Smarter Labs. We're going to draw that on Friday. Stay tuned. I just got to figure out a solution. I just don't have time. All right. Also, I feel obligated to tell you guys, I went to Black Hat a few weeks ago. I've got a bunch of Tenable content coming out on the channel. A long-form video came out yesterday called Swarm. I've got some shorts coming out over the next few days. Go check it out. I like, obviously, it's a paid engagement, but I thought the Tenable people were really cool. I enjoyed what I saw. It's a community service that I'm talking about in there, not their product. So very cool. Would appreciate the engagement. Guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Put it together. Put your hands together. Put your Oprah emotes together for my guy, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Until tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. This is the Cyber Career Hotline. If you're building a career in cybersecurity, this show is for you. Let's get into it.
And good morning, everybody. Hopefully coming through. I know Jerry's going to give me the thumbs up here at some point, make sure I'm good to go. But I sound good. There we go. Awesome. Well, good morning. Good afternoon. For me, it's the afternoon because enjoying the lovely seaside area of Whitby, England. Been here for the last number of days, had a family wedding, and then decided to stick around for a few more days, enjoying this area. So excited to see everybody taking over from that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger, as he's got to go deal with his IRS issues. Hopefully nothing too serious. He's got to go prove that he is who he say he is. You know, that's kind of interesting. If you think about trying to have to prove who you are, if you don't have a passport or your driver's license or birth certificate, and even then a birth certificate doesn't have a picture on it, right? It gets kind of interesting of how do you know who you really are? You know, kind of one of those things that makes you go, So, as Jerry was saying, I've been around for a little while. I had the pleasure of being recording a podcast episode with 2 cyber chicks yesterday. Had a blast chatting with Jax and with Erica. That show's going to air later on this year. But it was fun as they asked me how I got into cyber all those many, many years ago. Kind of was neat taking that trip down the road. I love the way back that we had today, as Jerry was sharing with us, cell phone plans. You had to, it was cheaper in the evening versus during the day. And it was kind of wild and crazy. And I remember that. I mean, so much. So let's see if I can share. There we go. Find that window. Here we go. This is what my first cell phone looked like. This was the Nokia 101. I got this way, way back in 1993 or 94. Just a crazy amount of money and the plan and everything that was on it. But that was my first cell phone, was the Nokia. And then, of course, everybody remembers the famous little Nokia 1, that little tiny LED tiny screen, basically the green background and the black lettering and going through and everything else. Kind of crazy. So, but yeah, so it's good to be back here with everybody. Drop your questions into the chat. Be glad to answer them. Put the Q in front of it. stop sharing that there. So yeah, it was the free weekends, the late nights on those cell phones. It was kind of crazy. The batteries did seem to last a while. I remember it had a weird plug with it as well. It did have the snake game. I remember that. Kish InfoSec, that phone is old as me. I can imagine. I did get to see the, there we go. Yeah, I did get to see the iconic Whitby Abbey that was here. Saw the 199 steps. On a previous trip, I walked up to the Captain Cook Memorial Museum. Yep, and I've had lots of fish and chips while I've been here. Very much enjoying the fish and chips. So let's see. Christian's got a question coming in here. My MSP is asked to assist with CMMC level 2 compliance by a client, and my boss came to me to ask if I'd be interested in the project as an aspiring. What are the first steps of info gathering? So yeah, the CMMC, they're level 2. They've got different levels depending on how deep you want to go. A lot of the standards regulations that are out there, they'll have a variety of different levels depending on how deep you want to go. I remember NERC-CIP, there was low, medium, high. CMMC, you've got different levels as well. So the first steps of info gathering, first thing is get the listings of CMMC, get the regulations. Start going through and looking at what information that it needs. You're going to certainly want to have a spreadsheet because we all love our Excel spreadsheets for tracking information. Start going through and looking at what the requirements are, what kind of evidence you're going to need to collect. So the first steps of info gathering is going to be figure out what you've got to collect, figure out who you've got to talk to get it from, and map that all out. You're going to have a lot of interviews. You're going to be meeting with a lot of folks to meet with to discuss about gathering that evidence. Are we doing this particular control? Do we have the evidence to be able to provide that? One of the cool things that you can probably do to make your life easier, and if you've got it, throw it into Gemini, maybe even into ChatGPT or Claude, and throw it in there going, create me a spreadsheet with each row would have the different control, have some examples of what the evidence would be, and then have another column for who's responsible for it or who's going to provide it for you. Have a notes column, and then have another section for, whether that control has been met, not met, not met, it's somewhat met, and be able to, that way gives you the ability to be able to go and track that. So hopefully that gives you a good start overall, because I know it's doing your CMMC any level is very intensive with regards to data collection. It gives you great insights on what it's like to be GRC. So definitely you want to be using Excel. Sometimes if you got a GRC tool, you can be collecting that kind of information as well. So luck with that, Christian. Keep us posted on how it goes. Oh, you've got a number of templates. Okay, here we go. I have a number of templates I can send you. Hit me up. Oh, that was for somebody. Oh, that was Elliot. Yes. We know Elliot's got a lot of templates. He's done a lot of work with CMMC. So let's see what other questions have we got coming in from folks. We've got Virgo, a lot of good content can help you once you have the controls pulled up. A lot of good YouTube content. Yep. See it from the perspective of the ones working on it. Definitely. When it comes to any type of audit that you're doing here, in this case, talking about CMMC, there's a lot, it'll be like drinking from a fire hose. A lot of information out there that you can go to kind of get you up to speed and be good to go and helping everybody. So Escobar Blue looking sharp, James. Well, thank you very much. Trying and be. Been going since, I think, on the East Coast time. Let's see, it's been going since about 1 in.the.morning. East Coast time. So, but of course that was 6 o'clock in the morning here. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK. Got a couple more hours worth of work to do. Gonna go have some tea, some fish and chips after this, before I head off tomorrow to Bristol. I'm heading down to Bristol for B-Sides Bristol, an event that's another fantastic B-Sides event. Very excited to present there. I'll be there on Friday morning and be doing my deepfakes talk. Created some new fun deepfakes. Been playing around with some new software as well to create them. Played around with Kling this morning and Runway. Gave it 4 images and asked it to create a video of the 4 directors of B-Sides to have a conversation. It's only 10 seconds long, but basically having the conversation that, yes, they wanted James McQuiggan to come present. So looking forward to seeing how that goes when I see all of them on Friday. Cool. All right. Let's see. Anything else happening in chat? Oh, Elliot Batiste, thanks for that. Got a link for the Discord. Oh, I think you can do ! Discord and it brings it up. I know that we do have the Simply Cyber Discord. I know it's on the website as well. So if you go to simplycyber.io, and then I think he's got a link for the Discord out there somewhere as well. Or I don't want to pull it up. Bandwidth here at the where I'm staying is kind of limited, so I'm trying to keep activity to a minimum of doing other things. I have a feeling someone's going to get him the Discord. Yeah, £, Discord. Enter that in, and that will bring up the link. And there it is there. simplycyber.io/Discord, and you can join. And then hit up Elliot Matisse. He'll be able to get you that kind of information. Bristol, check out, coming from Roswell, UK, check out the SS Great Britain, designed by Kingdom Brunel, our Harborside area, which features grants and cultural attractions like the M Shed Museum. Sounds like a plan. It's interesting because I'm going to be going from the east coast of England to the west coast of England tomorrow, coming from the northeast down to the southwest. Looking for, it's bang, yes, it's an exclamation mark, not a £, on the getting the Discord channel. Thanks, Phil. But yeah, so basically traveling the width of the UK or of England. Going to be doing that tomorrow. Going to be doing it with a car, going to be doing it with a train, and then probably taking an Uber from the train station up to the hotel where I'll be staying. So looking forward to that. Thanks there, Roswell, UK. I know we've put a lot of pressure on to see if we'll see you there on Friday. I know you got to work, so I respect that. Sorry we missed each other this time around. Hopefully next time. We'll see how it goes. So, cool. All right, what are we doing? We're at, I was about to say 2:17, but that's the time here, 9:17 back on the East Coast. Let me know what questions you all have. I've, like I said, 20 plus years, done everything from a little bit of programming. Nowadays it's vibe programming, but done application development, server development, building, admin configuration, networking, network security. I'm surprised Sierra hasn't dropped a question. She must have had to drop off because I saw her earlier. I saw she wished me a good morning, but yes, definitely next time there, Roswell, UK. But yeah, this is got a chance to ask any particular questions, career-wise. I actually did my presentation. Well, I literally came off doing that presentation last week on, our human resilience when it comes to getting rift. What are my thoughts on AI security being its own discipline or niche, as I'm guessing what that is, within cyber? And that's coming from Simply Cyber, the man himself, Jerry, watching in the background. AI security, are we going to then do physical security, cyber security, and AI security? I think that's kind of
All right. Looks like James has frozen for a minute. So I'm going to come on stage and say, what's up, everybody? Look at this beautiful man. Look, we can just talk about him. We can say anything we want. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. You're a wonderful man. Good to see you, James. While James gets sorted out, I'm going to go ahead and not answer my own question since I've been very outspoken on the channel about it. There we go. So if you got any questions, drop them in chat with a Q. I am here until James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet reboots. What element, in your opinion, is most important of the GRC? 1,000% the R. Governance, risk, compliance, all day, every day. Governance is great. It's important. It's the style. Compliance is great. It's the style. Risk is where we get paid because it's basically how do you allocate resources. James McQuiggan is back, so I'll let him take back over. James, the floor is yours, my man.
Let's hope this internet holds up. And you're frozen. Oh, now its page is unresponsive. All right. I can see the thing moving. Can you guys? The page is frozen again.
Your stream looks good to me. Oh, as I said it, it froze. So let's go ahead and do this again. Back to me. Back to me. Let's go. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Maurice Evans has no idea. He thinks that Dr. Gerald Auger hosts this show. It's not. It's Jerry Guy 311. What's up? Coming at me, bruh. Carrie says, I got inspired by Jerry with the mainframes. I'm working on getting trained on my own, then to code COBOL. What are your thoughts? All right, so listen really quickly, Carrie. You can certainly get into COBOL. That's like getting really good at Latin. Like, there are some niche use cases for it. I don't think like the IBM Z17 runs on COBOL. But I will tell you, during COVID, there was a massive, I don't remember exactly where, there was a massive, like, oh my God, hold on, you guys don't want to look at my my calendar. I was looking at my calendar to see what I needed to do. Just basically, Carrie, if you're going to take the time, energy, and effort to learn COBOL, good. But if the goal is to be able to parlay that into a job, I would encourage you go look at what jobs are currently asking for COBOL skills. And if there is one, awesome. And if there is not one, well, then the question becomes, why do you want to learn that, right? So just do the market research first. All right, James is back. Let's see what we got. James, you there?
Yep, Internet's a bit laggy coming in, but hopefully it holds up. The restream page was freezing too, so yay!
All right, well, I'll let you go. I'm here just as a support system for you, ladies and gentlemen. James.
All righty. Well, okay. Now we're back. Sorry about that. That's always a little frustrating when the things don't hold. I'm going to go back up to Jerry's question because I was really liking that question. The different types of, AI security, should we have its own, pulled off another great look. I think AI security or AI security in itself is all part of data. It's all part of agents. It's all part of IT assets. It's something that's still developed. It's all part of cybersecurity. You've got IT security that oversees the security of those IT assets. You've got cybersecurity. Then you have information security, which oversees the security of the data. And then you have cybersecurity, which kind of oversees all of it. So I think AI security will be another element under cybersecurity. So it would just be one of the three overall. That would be kind of my perspective of it with regards to it. So I like that question. That was a good one. That's kind of a fun one overall to kind of ask everybody. I'm in my mid-40s, coming from Chris Rice, and currently work for the government and interested in a possible career change into cyber and currently studying for my certs. Is being in my mid-40s tough for cyber? There's always the worry of ageism, and you've got folks, getting laid off in their 50s, 40s, and all ages are getting laid off. But, when you get into your 40s, the stigma was years ago where it was like, who wants to hire me in my 40s? Because I'm not going to be here, I'm going to look to retire. I think a lot of it, Chris, will come down to the the type of role you're looking for, the type of organization, and if you've got good referrals to help you get you in those doors. Because sometimes people transition into cyber all the time. They spent 20 years working in the government or retail or whatever, and then they try to transfer over. And it's not a bad thing. It will be challenging because we know the market is challenging right now overall with regards to cybersecurity. So it's important to be networking, getting the searches good. But you want to have deliverables. You want to have a way to be able to demonstrate what you've learned and what you're capable of doing, because the market is so competitive right now. And that's being transparent and being honest with you in regards to it. There are a lot of people in their 40s in cyber. I've known people that have broken in and are in their 40s and are now working in cyber. It's the persistence, the follow through, the networking, getting connected with folks. That'll help allow you to be able to break through overall. So keep us posted. Let us know how that goes for you. Cobalt is like crabgrass. As I travel, coming from Sierra. Here's the Sierra Montgomery question. I always love Sierra's questions. As I travel from Dublin to Bristol tomorrow. Actually, I'm not in Dublin. I'm in Whitby, but I get your point. What's one cybersecurity priority you think leaders in the UK should act on now? I think when we look at what leaders in cybersecurity need to be looking at, whether it's the UK, whether it's the US, whether it's Africa, cybersecurity priorities for leaders overall. Is certainly being able to make sure, they know their assets. That is always a common issue. You know what your assets are because you can't protect what you don't know. Make sure your users are well educated and they have the secure mindset and behaviors to help protect your organization as well. Because as long as everybody's got an email, they've got a key to that front door. So I know here in Ireland and the UK, they're dealing with especially with Europe, there's the EU AI Act, and there's a lot of concern around getting away from US technologies, develop their own, specifically in the EU. There's been discussions. I remember having discussions last year in Denmark where they were talking about maybe going to Linux instead of their operating systems, instead of using Microsoft Windows or Apple and looking at using Linux. So the security priorities, again, always got to be able to protect what you know. So make sure that you have control of your assets, make sure your users are well trained, and keep the patching up to date. Whitby is just over 400 miles and Bristol around 200 miles. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were avoiding me. Good one. Let's see, continue to run through the questions here. What's a strategic, I like this one. Wendy Plunkett, what's a strategic entry job to get into GRC as an older worker with very little work experience? Previously a homeschool mom helping husband with his business for 25 years. Kudos for being the homeschool mom. That's not an easy role. I know that from somewhat personal experience in my own family. So a strategic entry job, it's certainly, I think, and I know Jerry's got a video of going from being a teacher to be in cybersecurity. So, as a teacher, as an educator, if you're looking to get into the governance, risk, and compliance, the GRC, one of the things I always say is be strengths. Looking at what are your capabilities. You can take information and be able to explain it easier for people, taking something complex, being able to explain it in simple terms, being able to break it down. The education aspect. With regards to GRC, maybe it's an education type role, or maybe you're not interested in teaching, but it could be something where communication is key. One of the things to consider would be a BISO role, a business information security officer, and there's not a lot of experience needed from that, but just being able to educate, translate, take what the IT folks are saying, being able to translate it to the business, being able to translate the business terms into the IT terms. and being able to project manage all of that overall. That would be something that, you could certainly, as an entry level, because going into BSO is just a matter of knowing, your information, knowing cybersecurity, and if you're getting that from your certs and learning that goes a long way as well. So good question there, Wendy. Keep us posted. Be curious to know. All righty, got a couple minutes left. I like cyber as a hobby. Thanks for the answer and advice. Cool, Chris, anytime. Soap Flavored's coming in saying, hey, I'm in a similar kind of situation. So again, one of the great things about this community is everybody coming together, helping out. Take it easy there, Simply Cyber. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And now I'm on my own. Yeah, hopefully nothing drops on me here. Is it good, Tai Kwang Ong 9912? Is it good to know if you want to get into cybersecurity to kind of take a step back, then go forward, or just stay on the path? It's always good to be able to kind of stop as you're going along the journey and have a look around. What is it Ferris Bueller always says? If you don't stop and look, if you don't stop once in a while and have a look around, you might miss something. For me, over my cybersecurity career, there's always been and I talk about this many, many times, is the fact that ABL, always be looking, always be thinking about your outs, in security, or even, FBI, NSA, CIA. One of the things they teach you is when you walk into a room, when you walk into a space, is where are the exits? Always be looking for the exits. Always having options. And for me over the years, one of the big things was having those options, keeping options available, whether you're working as a university professor or you have a side hustle, but always have different options available. Always be looking. And it doesn't have to be active, but it could be, just always talking with people. Your networking goes a long way. But as you get into cybersecurity, have a look at what you're doing, because cybersecurity, inch deep, mile wide, lots of different perspectives, a lot of different roles that you can be doing. I know for me, in the first 15 years of doing IT after I got my A+, I was doing everything I could with a computer, everything from back then it was having phone calls over the internet, doing video editing, building my own computer, and going through all the different applications. But anything, coding, building web pages, anything I could do with a computer that was new, I was trying it out. And, it's always good to be able to try different things and experiment over the years and see what you like and see what works. And so it doesn't hurt to be able to always be looking, take that stop once in a while, have a look around, see what other options there are, see what other people are doing. That's why conferences are great, because you're going to have those conversations with people. Oh, what is it you're working on? You don't have to explain the intellectual property or but just in general of the different projects or things that you've got going on, see what it is with them. And if it's something interesting, it's like, oh, how did you get into that? What is it you do on a daily basis? If you're going into network security, that kind of thing overall. So, there we go. From Wendy, I'd love to teach in cybersecurity. I'm working on writing a beginner cybersecurity textbook disguised as a novel. Very cool. That's it's certainly a good way to be able to use what you've learned. I've always felt that when you're educating people, you're learning just as much, and it sticks more with you overall. Yeah, Soap Flavor coming in there saying, have you read The Future is Stars? That's coming from Rika, the folks at Black Hills Information Security. It's a comic book that's out, developed by security folks. So that's pretty cool. Definitely check that out overall. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Sierra. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Ferris Bueller. Yep, exactly. And, life does move pretty fast. And I can't believe we're almost here. We're just past the middle of August. We're getting towards the end of August, almost 3/4 of the way through the year. It's kind of crazy how it's been already. So, well, we are past the 9:30 mark. It's now 9:34, 2:34 here in the UK. So looks like I got through all the questions. Great to hear what Wendy's is working on and what Chris Rice has got going on, and a lot of other folks. So yeah, I hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Woohoo, hump day. But we got a couple more days left to go. Jerry's back tomorrow. And then he'll be doing the Cyber Career Hotline tomorrow. And then Friday, back for one more day before we get to the weekend. So we're almost right there. Carlos Martinez coming in with a last minute question. Let's see if I can fire this one off. How do I know if I'm choosing the right role? Any advice? Right now, I'm interested in an IAM engineer or cybersecurity engineer. Cool. It's the advice that I can give you is only based off of my experience. And it's kind of funny because you don't know you really like something until you lose it or you don't have it anymore, right? For me, it was doing the security awareness, the phishing assessments, the champions program that I did for 4 years. And then I transferred into our WIN department to do GRC and NERC SIP again. And the first week I was in the role, I was like, I made the wrong call. I made the right decision. Granted, it was a promotion. It was a move up, but I was already missing what my other role was. And so sometimes you got to take a wrong turn to realize and make that mistake to realize, whoops, I shouldn't have done that. You correct it and you move on. So, we never can tell if we're choosing the right role. If it's something that you enjoy doing and you're excited by it, then that's the right role for you. And if you haven't found it, keep trying all the different roles, be an IAM engineer, see what happens from that. If you're enjoying it, great, but then ABL, always be looking and see what comes out for you overall. So good luck with that, Christian. Keep us posted with regards to that. Be very curious to see how that works out for you. Cool. All right, everybody. I hope you all have an awesome Wednesday. Have yourselves a great week. If I don't get to interact with you again this week, because tomorrow I'll be on a train. Don't know how good the internet is on the UK trains. And then Friday I'll be at B-Sides Bristol. But I'll be back next. I come home early next week, so hopefully I'll be back interacting with all of you very soon. So in the meantime, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see y'all later.